everyone, so I've just eaten a whole pack of sweets and I am buzzing, and I decided that this was a great time to sit and do another episode of my cast member series. So this is going to be episode 3. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about what an average day in the life of a cast member is, because you'd think that it was all fun and games and that you just made magical moments and there was no like work involved. Well, you'd be wrong, because it's a job and job involves working. Let's start with like my role. Now my role changed quite quickly. I started with attractions in Animal Kingdom. That was my role. But it didn't really kind of work out. So I decided to change quite quickly. I was on Kilimanjaro, the Kilimanjaro safaris, and that wasn't for me. So I decided, I asked if I could move. And the only other thing that was currently available apart from quick serve food was custodial. Now, if you think when I say custodial that I mean like a cleaner, yes, you are technically correct. However, in Disney, it's kind of like the best job to have and the worst job to have. So that was my job for like most of my program. I started off on attractions, didn't like it, moved to custodial. In Animal Kingdom, custodial was amazing. It was literally, I don't think I would have gone and wanted to do anything else. It was the best job. So I'm going to run through a day and explain why it's good, because I can imagine you're thinking, but you were a cleaner in Disney World though, and that must have really sucked. Hell no, it was amazing. So let's just go through an average day of from start to finish. Getting to work. So how does that work? You have this bus system. I think they've changed the company now, but when it was with I was doing it, I think it was Mears, or no, it wasn't. It was like Transstar something. A really bad bus company basically, and the buses were never on time. They were always really rickety and kind of a bit dodgy. They used to break down all the time. The drivers were crazy. And I'm really surprised I got to work on time every day, because it was ridiculous. So you get given a bus timetable, and on the timetable it's got all the different bus routes, but there'll be letters. So I think Animal Kingdom was, oh my god, what was it? I want to say H. I used H quite a lot, so I think that was either Downtown Disney or somewhere fun. I'm pretty sure H was fun, or was H for food, or maybe D was Animal Kingdom. Anyway, the buses had different letters depending on where they were going. So you would wait for your bus to come around the loop with your letter, and then you knew that was it. And you could kind of tell if you missed your bus or not, because most of the people that worked on the college program with me, you wear your uniform to get the bus. So if you were clocking the line and there was loads of other people in the Animal Kingdom uniform, you knew you were okay. So you kind of wait for your bus. Now they come reasonably regularly, but they never came at convenient times for your shift. So say most shifts started on the hour, so the buses would either get you there at 5 past the hour or 25 to. So you were never really on time. You were either really early or you were late. So naturally you'd always get the earlier bus because you wanted to be at work on time. And most of the time the buses on the way to Animal Kingdom, they stopped at the wardrobe department beforehand. So it'd be so you'd go from all the complexes. So it usually goes from each complex. I was quite lucky because Chatham Square used to be on the last pickup, so they just take you straight to work. But on the way back, it would also be the last drop off, which was a bit annoying. So you get on the bus and it goes to wardrobe first. If it did, I think they've knocked down that wardrobe building now, but when I worked there. So you go to wardrobe and then to the park. So you'd probably have to get the bus at least an hour before your shift started. Now, if you needed to pick up some of your your uniform, your costume, you'd have to get the bus before that. So you'd probably have to leave maybe 2 hours, probably 2 hours before your shift started. I think you'd have to be on the bus because you then have to wait for the next bus to come, which was the bus you were meant to get to work. If that makes sense. So anyway, wardrobe. You get to this big, costuming, what is it called? It has a name, it's not wardrobe. Costuming, clothing, the place where you pick up your uniform, basically. And the only way I can describe it is you walk in to this building, and you kind of go around these corridors, and then there's rows and rows and rows of different costumes. And on the end of all the rows, they had a little mannequin dressed in the outfit, so you kind of knew what you needed to look like. And then at the end they had accessories for Kilimanjaro. You had belts, hats, For custodial, it was pretty simple. Top, belt, shorts, bum bag, or fanny pack, wherever you're from. And that was kind of your uniform. So you walk down these aisles, and then they have like loads of shorts lining up or loads of shirts, and you just pick, I think you could pick up to 5 in your size, and then you could use them. The annoying thing is that they never ever had your size, like, and to be honest, I didn't know what my size was because they used really weird sizing. I think they did it by waist for women, but like that really threw me. And then the tops were a really odd size. I just didn't really understand, so I kind of just was pulling things off when we first tried them on, not really understanding what, I was like, will that fit? Yeah, maybe, like holding it up, and then you try it all on. Back to the point about it never fitting. So I don't think from my whole program, I got a matching set that fit. Either the shorts were way too big or the top was way too big, because you don't want to go smaller because it's just not pleasant. So you'd always go bigger. So I always like looked like I was in like some ridiculous outfits. And they used to go really big. I think they went to like 5XL or something, which is insane. I think at one point I had to pick up like a 3XL because they literally had nothing smaller. And I could like pull it out to here. I didn't go there for like a fashion show, especially when you see what my actual uniform looks like. I might insert some pictures, depending on how embarrassed I find them, of me as a custodial, because I don't really have any from Kilimanjaro. So for custodial, even though you're a cleaner, your uniform's white, which I think is a bit weird. But these shorts, honest to God, they would come up above your belly button, and the zipper on them was like this long. They were so terrible. And then when I first started working there, we used to have the custodial for Animal Kingdom used to have their own uniform. It used to have all the different animals on the patch here, like on the side, and they changed it to the generic like blue and yellow thing that the rest of them have at the moment. And it's also weird because you don't do your own washing. You don't wash your uniform. Well, I never wash my uniform. Hear me out, this isn't gross. So this stuff's really expensive. Like some of the outfits, I think I was hearing from one of the cast members, like the bellhop outfit from Haunted Mansion with the hat and the jacket and the shirt and the trousers, I think they came to like, for a set was like almost like I could be wrong, I swear it was like almost $1,000 for like a full-on set from head to bottom, like getting it all customized and everything. And so they don't really want you to like ruin them. So especially for the college program and stuff, they liked you to bring them back for them to wash them and iron them, which I was totally for. So you got given this big white sack, and I used to keep it in my wardrobe because we had a walk-in wardrobe, because that's a thing in America apparently. You can just walk into the wardrobes. And I used to throw all my dirty clothes in the sack and then take it there, and they have this like box, and it's weird. All of the uniform has barcodes on it, so that when you take it out, you scan it, and then it's like linked to your name. So if you like steal any of it or lose it, you have to pay for it, and they know it was you because you've booked it out. Because I think you can only keep it for a certain amount of time, I think. Anyway, so when you come back in, you have to scan your uniform on this like barcode thing. You have to like type in your number and scan it, and then drop it in a bucket, which is like where all the washing goes. And then they will check it, and if there's anything particularly wrong with it, you could still get like fined or something for it. Which is a funny story actually, because one time I used to keep a pen in my like, maybe this side because you have your name badge this side, in my pocket, actual pocket here, just because people needed pens and time guidance things. And I remember once the pen leaking on this white shirt, this blue pen, and it just went all down the shirt, and I left it for a little while because I wasn't going back to wardrobe, and I didn't really want to go just for that. And I was honest to God, so expecting them to charge me for it, but they didn't. So, but they're annoyed though. I bet that didn't come out because it didn't. I think it was a permanent pen as well, which so that's kind of your uniform. It's a bit like, I mean, some people have really cool uniforms. Like I said, my roommate Caroline that we spoke about before, she worked on the Haunted Mansion. She got the bellhop outfit. My roommate Sarah, she worked in merchandise, so she got to work in the Polynesian for a bit, and she had a really nice like Hawaiian dress, which was really cute. Catherine, who also lived with me, she worked in the Christmas shop in Liberty Square, and she had to wear that was a weird outfit. She had like a bonnet that she had to wear. Hey, as long as I wasn't wearing the muumuu that they have to wear in Pizza Safari, I'm okay. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, next time you go into Pizza Safari, look at what they're wearing. Is it Pizza Safari or is it Flame Tree Barbecue? One of those two, they have to wear this muumuu which is got like, if you know what a moo is, it's kind of like a big dress that's really unflattering. And they wear that and it's got like lizards and fluorescent colours all over it, so it could have been worse. One of my favourite uniforms was the dinosaur people, because they had this like zip up jumpsuit and it was really cool and I really wanted to wear it. And I really like the dinosaur people were like the cool kids, so like when you would get on the bus in the morning, like obviously you could see what everyone was wearing and you kind of knew what roles they were working in. The dinosaur people were the cool people. They were like the ones you like, you look awesome. And then like the custodials were also like, to start with, they were like the bottom of the food chain, but when people actually realised what our job entailed, they were like, damn, that sounds like a really good job. And I'm like, I know, it was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. So you've got your wardrobe, you've got your bus, you get to work, and in Animal Kingdom they actually park. So you know where the bus loop is? You might not know, but if you know Animal Kingdom, so where the bus loop is like there, you have to walk round to it. Well, if you keep walking down, there's like a car park, which is cast member car park, and the buses drop you off there. So you usually have to walk in the entrance with the guests, and then there's like a little side bit by Rainforest Cafe, which is actually behind Rainforest Cafe was where my like management used to be and where my lockers were and stuff. And you go there first and you have to clock in to start the day. So you have your number and you have to sign in, and it'll clock you in for the day. And it'll give you like your rota, and it'll be Mickey being like, have a magical day, blah, 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 blah. And it'll have like a notice board, all the managers would sit in there. And for our job, we'd have to pick up a radio. And so you'd be assigned a radio and you'd be assigned an area. Now, for most of the time, I was assigned to Discovery Island. And Discovery Island is basically where the Tree of Life is. So it was split into two sides. You had Pizza Safari side and you had Flame Tree Barbecue side. And oh my god, I love Discovery Island. Like we all kind of got given our areas. So the areas were Amandapur, which is Everest. Everyone hated that because the amount of people that used to throw up on Everest was disgusting. And also Kali River Rapids. You used to do, I don't think anyone really did Africa, like the Africa side, Harambe, because that was kind of for the permanent staff. I think it was quite an easy one. Camp Minnie Mickey, which was such an easy shift because nothing ever used to happen in Camp Minnie Mickey. There was like the bus loop, which was the worst, and there was a guy, I can't remember his name now, Jake or Jason or something, who like the management really didn't like because he used to always like not work properly, and they always used to give him the bus route because it's literally the worst place to work. Oasis, which is like as you walk in to Animal Kingdom, that's where Oasis is, where the animals are and stuff. That's okay to work, it's a bit boring. Dinoland USA was okay if you got the dinosaur side, I think. And then if you got Hester's and Jesters and Hesters and Jesters and Hesters, that side was okay too. But anyway, I was always put on Discovery Island, maybe occasionally Camp Minnie Mickey, but that was like as far as I went. I wasn't really ever put, I think I was put on Amandapur like once or twice, like not very often. Discovery Cove was like my jam. More often I was put on the Flame Tree Barbecue side, which is not a lot goes on there. But the best thing about my job is, compared to other jobs, and let me just explain my role and then I'll explain what other people have to do. So for a custodial, and I'm not sure how much of this is like what you're supposed to do or just what we did, but I'm going to tell you what I did. So you get paired up pretty much with someone else who was also doing the college program most of the time, and you just be buddied up and you just walk around your section with like a dustpan and broom, like one on a black stick thing. You've seen them. And your job basically most of the time is just to walk around the area, sweep, and answer guest questions. That was my job. I just got to talk with friends, walking around Animal Kingdom, just doing what I liked. And the best bit was the parade. When the parade used to go around, I was on Discovery Island, and there's not a huge amount you can do when the parade's going on apart from watch it. So me and all the other guys that worked on Discovery Island had our little spot that we used to meet up for the parade, and we used to just watch it every day from this particular spot, and it was amazing. That parade was so good, and I'm so sad they got rid of it. And then yeah, you kind of just wandered around. I used to go and talk to my friends in Tough to Be a Bug because you'd have to kind of occasionally clean in there, and if you got hot, oh, I'll just go look in the shop, and you just like be sweeping the floor in the shop, but actually you'd be like mentally buying things. And then the only real job you had to do was once a day, you would probably have to do a bin run, which is, you have like maybe 15 bins in your section, and all you do is go around. Now the bins in Disney are a bit weird. I don't know if other places do this. They have 3 bags in them. So you take out the top bag, and obviously it's like if you get any leakage, you just pull out another bag, take it out, put it in the big, like this big black cart, so you can't see the rubbish basically. You just chuck it in, close it, maybe put a new bin bag on there if it needs it. If not, that's fine. And it sounds gross, but considering that the bins get emptied 6 times a day, there's literally like nothing in them. Like, how often have you gone to a bin in Disney, it being completely full that you can't put anything in it? Never. They're usually pretty empty, and that's fine. Like, all I have to do is pick up some cups and chuck them in the bin and whatever, that was it. And then all you do is you take the bin bags, oh my god, there's a trash compactor. It's like the funnest thing to play with. I have so many horrific stories about this trash compactor. So you throw all the bags in there and you close the door up and you press this button and it just crushes everything. But a really fun game to play is don't fully close the door. Well, actually no, maybe this isn't something I should well no, you fully close the door. But if you put something with a lot of liquid in there, sometimes if you like are talking to someone and distract them and make them stand like in the line of it, press the button, sometimes the liquid comes out and gets them. That's really fun, but also really gross. Yeah, so I would usually do a 8-hour day, I think, 6 to 8 hour day. And because I was a college program kids, we kind of get the worst shift. So mostly, well, they say worse. I was really happy with my shifts. The full-timers usually work the mornings, and then we come in and do the closes of the night shifts, which are fine. Like for Animal Kingdom, that meant like I was doing like a 1-8 or a 1-6. So like, that was fine. So you come in, you get a radio if you're getting a radio, you wander about, you had an hour lunch in, I used to go for my lunch to a place it's called Castosaurus, and it's behind Restaurantosaurus, and it's basically the cast member cafe there. And it just sold you all the same things they do in the parks, but so cheap. I think like one of the pizzas, like the ones you get at Pizza Safari, were like $1, $2, and you get like meatball subs and cookies and chicken. Oh my god, their chicken burgers were so good. So we all used to time our lunches. Like, you get given a set lunch, but like if you were slightly late, you could go and meet other people, and all the custodials, we all knew each other really well. So you'd always have people to talk to, and it was so fun. And you don't really get regulated that much. They just say, this is when your lunch is, this is the time that you have to do your trash run. The rest of it, you just need to be cleaning, and you just need to be walking around helping guests, sweeping. And like when I spoke to some of my other like roommates that worked in different areas, they were so strict. They were like, right, you have to have a little piece of paper, and this will tell you can go on a break, or this can tell you have to go and do this for an hour, or you have to do this for an hour, and the manager's here and you'll do this. We were so free to not necessarily do what we want, but just like hang out. And I got the best tan. Like I'm gonna put up a picture of my tan at the end of my trip. So look at that, and then look at me. So I was like, I had Mexican housemates, and I was darker at the end of the trip than some of my really dark Mexican housemates. So I was like doing all right. Animal Kingdom, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have pretty awesome after hours events. So I remember there being Animal Kingdom like Everest half marathon or something, or like a 10K or something. And so they started running around the park, and then they would end up by Everest, and there was a big dance party. And we always used to volunteer to work it, because as I said, you do one trash run and the rest of it you just get to enjoy the party. And I remember us all being there, all dancing, like hanging out with all the guests. And then when we finished, to say thank you at like midnight, I think it was, our managers let us go on Everest, and they turned all the lights off. So it was like Everest in the completely pitch black, and it was all of us on it, all the cast. And I really wish I could buy the photo, because it's all of us there in our uniforms, like, hey! So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. Okay, so if you can imagine, I'm doing sometimes a 12-hour day, depending on like what time of year it was. Obviously I was in the summer. So around the 4th of July, it kind of got busy, although it didn't in Animal Kingdom, because they don't have fireworks. Like some of my friends, as I said, were working till like 6, 7 a.m. in Magic Kingdom. We were done by like 6 p.m. on like July 4th. Like, see ya, like we're going home. Which was amazing. Oh my god, Animal Kingdom had the best closing time. You'd be done by 8, and I remember getting home and my house would always be empty when I get home because all my other housemates would be working till like 12, 1 o'clock, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go have dinner, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, might even go to a theme park. Like, I used to get the bus occasionally from Animal Kingdom straight to another theme park or to Downtown Disney, just hang out with everyone. One thing I will say, okay, this like killed me the first few days. So to do custodial, as I said, you're walking. Now you walk for your whole shift, and I know you walk a lot like in Disney anyway, but oh my god, it was hell. I remember, I think it was the first shift, I physically almost couldn't stand by the end of my shift because Animal Kingdom is very up and down hills, and you bought new trainers for the role because you found out your role when you were there, so you'd have to buy your new shoes from like Walmart. And I got these black sports trainers and they were really comfy, but oh my goodness, my feet, I had blisters on the base of your foot. I had blisters there and it was so painful. I remember, I think it was the second night coming back from work, and I went to bed and I had to get out of bed, run a freezing cold bath and put my feet in it because they were spasming out because they were so like, I don't know, worn out. And I had to literally just sit with my feet in freezing cold water until they stopped like spasming because it was that bad, and I had blisters all over my feet. But like after a couple of weeks you kind of get used to it. And because this may be a bit too much information, but we're going to share it anyway. We're going to go into all the details. So the uniform you wear is mine definitely wasn't cotton. It was like horrendous, and it used to like, because it was like fake material, it used to chafe the inside of my legs like no one's business. I remember like to the point where the inside of my thighs were like bleeding because it was so bad. And all I have to say is invest in some Vaseline because oh my god, that saved my life. But it was yeah, a lot of walking. What else happened in the day? I don't want to kind of like, I have other episodes I want to do, like the really awesome things, the really terrible things, dealing with guests, dealing with other cast members. So I don't want to talk too much about that. I kind of want to go just about like what a day entails. It's really fun. Like, and if you're ever looking and you look at custodial and you're like, that's a terrible job, honest to God, it was so much fun. Like, there's a couple things that are bad about it, which I'll go into in a later episode. But honestly, I think, like, especially after doing attractions and then moving on to custodial, because everyone always thinks attractions is the best job. Custodial was so much fun. Like, all you did was hang out with friends, walk around the park, take it all in, enjoy it, and then to a trash run with someone else usually. They usually do it in a pair, like once a day, in an 8-hour shift. It takes like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, what's not good about that? And then you get to just wander around. Another good thing that you got to do is if a guest needed help finding somewhere and they were really like struggling with directions, you could just take them there. And they'd like, the managers would radio be like, where are you? I'd be like, oh, I'm just by Everest. Why? Guests needed to know where they were going. Okay then. Make sure you go back to your area soon. Okay. And yeah, I just used to wander about and it was really fun. And I really enjoyed it. Watched the parade every single day. And I got paid for it, and it was so good. So good. Yeah, and that was kind of the day. And then when you clocked out at the end of the day, it'd say, you have a magical day. And then to get the bus back, this was the worst. I think getting any cast member that is past or present, I'm sure this is still the same, well, believe me, getting the bus home from work is the worst thing about working at Disney by far. The buses always came at 5 past pretty much the hour. And if you finish at like 5, you've then got to clock out, get all your stuff, close your locker, get to the bus stop by 5 past. It is pretty much impossible. I think I did it twice on my entire trip. And then the next bus doesn't come for an hour. Pretty sure. It's like 45 minutes to an hour. So you're stuck. And then it takes you maybe an hour to get back because you have to go to all the other stops first. So like you finish work at 5, you won't get home till 7. This is where like my top tip would be, and this wasn't something I managed to do on purpose. This was actually because they were all really lovely people. Find a friend with a car. Like I had 2 guy friends, Cody and Josh, and they were Americans that I kind of met because they were doing the American college program, and they both had cars. And lifesaver. Like, they would just drive me home from work and it took 20 minutes, and it was the best. And they were really awesome too. Like, they were really good friends. I really appreciated every time they offered. I would never ask, they would always offer, because I don't ever want to take advantage of anyone. So when they'd offer, I'd always be like, hell yeah. But if they didn't offer, I was always more than happy to get the bus. And also, if you did get the bus, obviously where it did come at like an hour, you would then get more and more people waiting. So most of the time you might not have even got a seat on the bus, which was super annoying. So that's kind of a rough, like, what happened in my day. And I was kind of a little bit more vague on this one because I really want to go into detail on some of the really good parts and some of the really bad parts. And as I said before, interactions with guests in different episodes, because there's a lot of really good stories. Like, I know that I keep saying, oh, I'm rambling about, but these stories are really good. Like, oh God, am I like... I'm picking it up now and everyone's going to go, no, these are terrible stories. I thought they were really good. I've got some like doozy stories that I want to share. So I'm going to probably go into a lot of detail then because I think they deserve it and need it. So I think I'm going to end this episode here. I just want to say again, thank you for everyone that's watching. This series has actually got like a lot of love, and that really surprised me because I always try and tell my like, I don't call them real life friends because obviously I count a lot of people on here as friends now, but like people that I physically see and interact with on a daily basis in person, in the flesh, think like they get annoyed with me talking about being a cast member and working in Disney, blah, 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 blah. Whereas like I'm actually getting a lot of really nice messages on here from people that like it. So this is really fun because I think Ash appreciates it as well because he doesn't have to keep listening to me tell these stories. You guys now get to listen to me tell these stories. So that's fun, right? We're enjoying it, yeah? So I guess I will see you next time. I think I'm coming on a sugar, like, come down now because I'm getting really sleepy. So I might not film another one today, film on the weekend. I'm going driving soon because if you didn't see on Instagram, I passed my driving test. Yes, I'm only 26. Definitely should have done it years ago. But when you live in the city and you don't need a car, you don't really want to drive. The reason I did take my test is because when we go back to Florida in 2 years, I think, I want to have a Mustang and I want it to be convertible and I want to cruise down I-4 looking cool. So that was the plan behind that, and that's literally why I took my driving test. So we can do that now. I'm very excited. But I will see you next time. Bye!